I've been told not to inquire as to the acronym, especially for ASR.
The green team's banning someone now.
Today. Team exception, however, somewhat simpler. So we're going to be looking at some very similar bans in the current meta, looking at definitely the Invoker ban. I'm also expecting a Slark or a Timbersaw or a Clockwork. These are very much the common picks and bans now. Venomancer. That is somewhat unheard of for the first ban phase. Maybe ASR have got something they've run with it. Maybe EX thoroughly dislike it, and the main ban really hammering it into the supports in these first bans. So let's see what we get. The Timbersaw ban, completely expected. Really, really strong offlaner. Said this many times, but an escape, tankability, and a really, really strong level 6 like nuke damage and all in. So we're going to see what ASR look to pick up for their first take, and it's going to be the Visage pick.
DotA team pick.
Extremely strong support, especially with an aggressive tri-lane, potentially looking to pick up like a Luna or a Rubik and a Crystal Maiden or something like that. However, the Visage Familiars extremely potent against so many different compositions which the enemies do want to run. And with the Bane ban, it does suggest that they are looking to do an aggressive tri-lane. And there we go, there's the Clockwork. Very, very common offlaner in the current scene. Extremely, it's level 6. Once again, the same with Timbersaw. His ability to make plays around the map at his level 6 is absolutely incredible. Hookshot provides a 2000 unit range initiate. So, no matter where you are, as long as if you're on the other side of the lane, you can be hooked. And we'll see what they want to pick up to pair up with that to finish off the first phase.
Reserve time.
Crystal Maiden.
No, Crystal Maiden.
Radiant
quite nice for a Clockwork, especially with the aura, the arcane aura, as he is a strength hero and his intelligence gain is not the highest. So the arcane aura really going to help him out, especially when he's popping his cogs, potentially using the rocket flare to block the neutrals ones. And an especially strong hero, especially for a tri-lane with Crystal Nova,
5 seconds
100 damage nuke at level 1 in an area of effect with a very potent slow.
Reserve time.
So we're definitely seeing really what, especially with the Clockwork pick, you're seeing why they really don't want to play up against the Venomancer. It's very, very difficult for a Clockwork to really achieve anything on the off lane against the Venomancer. The Gale will completely like shut him down. The harassment out of the wards and the poison sting and the Mirana pick.
Team's banning someone now.
Really looking potentially towards an aggressive tri-lane, maxing that Starstorm and just being able to just quickly get some nuke damage off to be able to have the Solar Sunshine out of the Visage. And the Puck ban, extremely strong hero who would be really effective with the Clockwork combo, being able to also jump in, Clockwork hook shots in, puts up the cogs, Puck blink in, and they've got the Dream Coil straight onto the top, and just locking them down and getting all the damage out as quickly as possible. So we get the Nyx ban from Team Exception. With just starting off with heroes like Crystal Maiden, you really don't want that sneaky son of a bitch following you around and picking you off. It's not a nice day when you have a Nyx when you're playing Crystal Maiden. Get the OD ban out of ASR, and at some point I'm going to try and work out the translation of Lamical Savoyard Le Raclette.
Reserve
There we
time.
go. There's my French accent attempt for the for today's cast. I will not be trying that again. But the OD ban is primarily, as he's a lane bully, you really want to be able to get your especially your mid laner, be able to make an impact and control the tempo of the early to mid. And an OD, its ability to control the lane, get extra damage, and then just get a really fast early mechanism with an extremely powerful ultimate, really can control and dictate the course of the mid game. Something you really something you really don't want to lose. You don't want to lose control of where the game is going. And the Bristleback ban out of Team Exception, taking out really 3 of the most popular off players apart from the Clockwork right now. Nyx Assassin, the Bristleback, and the Timbersaw, all extremely effective. Bristleback extremely strong due to, well, obviously his spell Bristleback, able to tank up all that damage while getting out just as much. So I'm interested to see what they really want to pick up here. Also got to think of what ASR have left for a potential off lane. Are they just going to go run an aggressive tri lane and run a safe lane carry? And the Abaddon, I'm assuming support. Maybe we'll get a loader today, and it will be the carrier, the phase into drums, into Vlad's. Just being able to tank up, keep up to everyone, using that Curse of Avernus. However, I do think that is extremely unlikely, and we will be looking at a support Abaddon. Very, very useful against the Mirana pick, as he is able, as soon as the arrow lands, the long second, you just a Photic Shield, and away you go. Obviously, along with the Mist Coil, is really, really useful in a tri lane.
Reserve time.
As he really increases the amount of tankability that any hero can have. With the 100 heal at level 1 for the Mist Coil, and the 110 damage absorbed on a Photic Shield, both at level 1. So at level 2, he can buff up a hero by 210 health. Most heroes at level 1 are looking at between 500 or 600, so that is a 30% increase in their total health, which is an absolutely monumental amount, consider if it is going to be an aggressive tri lane out of ASR. These picks really, Earthshaker pick really cements the fact that they want to go aggressive. I would be extremely surprised if they took these heroes and didn't take it into the aggressive lane. The Earthshaker being able to do the long range Fisher, setting up for a Mirana arrow, or even just into the Grave Chill, then into the Mirana arrow. And the Luna pick is really, really nice. I would have really liked to see ASR picking up the Luna instead of the Mirana. However, the Moonlight Shadow is very useful, and especially using the Sacred Arrow to pick off targets is very effective. But with Team Exception taking up the Luna, it really does buff up their tri-lane potential. With Crystal Maiden, 100 damage nuke, and not only the nukes, it's the right-click potential coming out of their tri-lane. It's Crystal Maiden looking at plus 22 damage. We're looking at plus 60 damage on the over the board if Abaddon is able to get in. So that's that's an entire another hero's worth of damage that's going to be dealt to whoever the target is in this potential aggressive tri lane. So we're going to see what ASR wants to pick up for potentially their safe lane or their mid here. I am still going to be holding to the fact that their ASR are running an aggressive tri lane. And the Slark pick, extremely surprised to see this so late. It has been a first stage and consistently throughout throughout this league and the previous games. And the Storm Spirit ban out of Team Inception. I think they're expecting this actually to be a safe lane Slark. Be interested to see what Exception pick up now, because they want something that can really picked out the game. A Tinker pick.
Radiant's
We
team
saw
pick.
this Tinker pick yesterday out of THC. Once he got online, it was working extremely well. It just took took a lot of time. And then while he had his Boots of Travel, he had his Blink, and had Max March, he was getting the farm everywhere. And he was getting loads of items, but his team was suffering for it. And Tinker can't.
5 seconds remaining.
Tinker can't like solo carry. Pugna pick. I extremely like this pick, and it could even be extremely changed lanes. We could have the Slark mid, the Slark safe lane, the Pugna mid, the Pugna safe lane, even a Pugna in the tri lane with the Mirana on the safe lane. So we're gonna have look to see what they want to do here, as they do have 2 stand-ins taking up the Mirana and the Pugna. I'm going to start off by introducing Team ASR. We're going to have stand-in of Spirit Breaker Samar taking up the Mirana. We've got Paloma on the Earthshaker. We've got the stand-in Vorja on the Pugna, Mayo on the Visage, and NKZ on the Slark. And then on the Dire team, Team Exception, we have Laukio on the Tinker, Kirko onto the Abaddon, the Azor on the Crystal Maiden, Tib on the Luna, and finally Vitalik onto the Clockwork. Definitely going to be looking to go into the off lane, start up the power cogs.
I'm in the game as well, by the way, and the stream's up and running.
Awesome, that's really good to know. Okay, so what are we gonna see? Okay, so it's gonna be it. Okay, it will be a Pugna mid with the Slark on the safe lane. And there we go. The stand-in, who I've already forgotten their name, has now changed their name to Shoot Arrow, Miss Arrow. Hopefully we will be seeing a few more hit arrows today, but we'll see how it goes. But we've definitely got the aggressive tri lane towards the top.
30 seconds.
And what's interesting will be this bottom lane matchup with the Slark into the Clockwork. And it could be the Visage is going to start off at the bottom lane just to give Slark a little bit of an XP advantage by harassing out the Clockwork, but we're definitely going to see the dual lane top out of the Earthshaker Mirana.
Time to man up.
So here we go, we're going to get started with the first game of the 2-game series.
Creeps. Hit those other creeps.
So we've got different builds coming, different start of the opposing mid laners. We've got Vorja with the Talisman, Tangos and Pull Tangos, whereas with Laukio we have the early Bottle Rush. In some ways this does benefit the Curse. He does have extremely good right click from the get-go, and will be able to pick up his battle a lot faster than the Pugna will be able to. Nice block out of the Clockwork, trapping up 3 of the creeps, really going to hinder Slark's wave here, and will be able to give Clockwork a few free levels. Some nice denying out of the Slark will really pull the lane back into his into pushing towards him, with the double range creeps likely to be pushing towards him. Quick pick of the poor man's shield as the Visage has taken this chance to pull the creep wave, pull the radiant creep wave, and we are going to see a duel on duel with the jungling Crystal Maiden potentially going to be roaming around, just getting those extra little levels. You really want to get your carrier as much levels as possible, and when you've got a support like Crystal Maiden who has the capacity to sit in that jungle, spam up the frostbite, and get the creeps. So we're going to see Tinker taking those early levels in March, and this is going to use that to be able to push the Tinker away from the harass. Generally, how you want to play, sorry, not the Tinker away from the harass, the Pugner, because Pugner has great base movement speed, sitting 15 above the Tinker at level 1. Oh, completely missing that first blood onto the clockwork. Level 2, level 4 Slark, I imagine level 2 Slark going straight onto the clockwork with that level 2. There's 2 levels in Pounce. Really proving useful there, and especially with the Essence Shift taking away the strength of the clockwork, even further reducing his health, much like a Timbersaw does. So we're going to carry on to see just the dual lanes coming out, the 2-1-2 out of ASR. Yep, definitely, we're going to have to watch out for this. What levels do we have on Tinker? We have just 1 in Rocket, and it is a very, very nice ward there, completely shutting down that gank. Tinker, with his high mana cost so early in the game, could not afford to deal out any more damage for risk of actually killing himself. So really, really nice reaction out of the Pugner to just automatically put up the ward. We've got a pounce onto the clockwork, and he's going to escape with his life. We've got no more mana for the soul assumption from the Visage. Gonna pop that clarity, and clockwork is going to be A-OK. What we really want to see right now is a little bit more action from this dual lane of the Mirana Earthshaker. However, the problem is there's very little they can do with the dual nuke combination out of the 150 damage nuke from the Mist Coil and the 150 out of the Lucent Beam. If Mirana is caught out and succumbs to like a misstep or bad Fisher, could really prove problematic for. I'm merely just going to call her Mirana. Shoot arrow, miss arrow is not what we shall be addressing her as today. And we do have the Crystal Maiden moving up into the top. However, it's going to be scouted out by the Radiant Ward. However, I think we are going to see. Oh, we're going to see an arrow straight onto the Crystal Maiden, but there we go. The mist coil onto the mist coil. Sorry, I'm going to get my words out eventually. The mist coil onto the Crystal Maiden, follow it up by the Aphotic Shield. Just gets it out of any harm's way and allows her just to walk away scot-free, get off that Nova, and it's completely fine. We should see a D ward coming out of Crystal Maiden. Yeah, there we go. Realised that he was scouted out, and we are going to see the Slark trapping himself on the cliff at the bottom. And then always got to have those tangos. Extremely useful, definitely. And we are going to see this Crystal Maiden just hanging around the top rune, but Tinker's going to be able to secure that anyway. A nice little region for him, unless we can get the deny out of the Visage. No, we're... the boss, he was... I'm surprised he didn't go for it anyway, but we're going to see the cogs onto the Visage, and we're going to follow it up with the Tinker. However, the damage, as he's maxed his March, is actually going to die for it right here. He is unable to be able to kill this Slark. a really
Dire's middle tower
poor
is under
judgment there, overestimating what he can do. And the Dire Courier is going to be picked off by
Where?
the Slark.
Dire's courier.
There we have it.
He's dead.
The bottle from the Tinker didn't re-micro the Courier and has now severely dented his chances. Is that another Courier he's bought? Or did he not have it? No. The bottle, I don't think he did have his bottle anymore. It's either that or he has actually purchased another one. And that is going to be a kill onto the Earthshaker as well as potentially onto the Marana. A nice little leap there, just getting himself out of harm's way. But no, the extra Lucent Beam in conjunction with the Mist Coil is enough to give Luna the double kill. Yeah, we've got the Slark really and just hammering home his advantage now. He's got the Pullman shield, he's got his treads, and he's getting the levels up in his pounce and his dark pact, and it's really going to be hammering it home into the dramatically under level Clockwork. Level 9 Slark versus a level 5 Clockwork. There's very little that Vitalik is going to be able to do, and he is using this time to be able to TP up to the top lane. But there is another Radiant Ward, which is scouting him out, and also the Crystal Maiden coming in, also scouted out by that Radiant Ward. We'll also see that the Visage has rotated up to the top lane to assist in this tri lane, as Slark is now currently better off on his own. We're going to see this. We're going to see the Tinker just going to be farming up these stacks in the jungle, kindly donated by the Crystal Maiden. It's just going to get his trying to get his boost travel a little bit faster. Unfortunately, leaving a Mud Golem alive on barely any health, and it's going to prove just unfortunate when he wants to go back there to clear that. Unless we're going to see a kind act out of the Crystal Maiden. Yep. Going to sort it out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's one of the downsides about if you're playing against a Pugner, you really can't leave the Pugner alone, otherwise your tower will be pushed. With that 325 damage, with the basically the 160 to 162.5 damage dealt to the structure, and we are going to see the Moonlight Shadow used up on the top lane. However, the Sentry Ward here completely scouting out on the last tick of its life. Really unfortunate call there from ASR, and a really lucky call there, well, lucky shot for Team Exception. And we are going to see the Tinker picking up that invisibility rune on the top lane, unless the Earthshaker can get it just in time, or the Tinker deciding to rearm instead of going to pick up the rune actually ends up losing the rune.
Tower is under attack.
All this time we have the Slark just free farming and free pushing this bottom lane, and will take this tower quite swiftly. And we've got the Mechanism Rush coming out of a really nice position there, completely closing off the Tinker's escape. And this is what they need to do. They need to shut down the Tinker's farm and really stick it to him. Make it so he's unable to get his boots of travel in a timely fashion.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, so we get Slark getting the last hit at the bottom, and I imagine that the mid tower is going to shortly follow.
Dire's bottom tower is under
we've got the Nether Blast, and we've also got the Buckler active on the creeps, giving them the little bit of extra armor.
Everyone, go now!
Giving a small overview of the XP and gold stats at the moment. ASR is leading.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, a lot of this will be. Oh, we're going to see Clockwork Hook hitting a creep, missing the Pugner. The first rotation out of the Clockwork, with the hook shot, really not paying any fruition at all. And we're going to see the Slark waiting up on the high ground for some unfortunate soul to venture into the dire secret shop area. But a lot of this advantage is going to be attributed to the Slark at the moment. Currently sitting over 1,000 net worth above the Luna, and 3 levels above the Luna. Oh, are we gonna? Lucky little haster in there, able to let him get away, and Slark is just going to pick off this Surfer Tormentor. No free stacking for the Luna today.
Do it with flair.
Oh, Tinker barely able to escape with his life in the mid lane. Really fortunate there, because he is only 350 gold away from his booster travel, and denying that mid tower, denying just that extra 100 gold for the entire Radiant team. So we're seeing the miss upper kill for the Slark up there. We may see a rotation, but no. The pounce is enough to get away in conjunction with the Dart Pack. Very little crowd control left after you use the Dart Pack, completely purging off all of the stuns. So we're going to see Luna travel into that more the power treads into the Helm of the Dominator, then the BKB build. Somewhat looking for more of a little farming game, hoping the game's going to be a little bit longer.
Bad dude's top tower gonna fall over soon.
Earthshaker soloing the Tinker without the help of the
Dire's top
actually
tower
anyone.
is under attack.
Coming in.
Didn't even have hasn't used the Echo Slam either, so maybe just a little bit too health for the Tinker.
Dire structures are fortified.
Using up the Soul Ring, really unfortunate. Just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Bad dude's top is all nasty and
And there we go. There's the top tower pushed down from the Pugner. Really strong ability to push down these towers in the early portions of the game. And we are going to see in this Slark actually running through the Dire sentries. So will be scouted out and should be picked off. And the Luna with the Eclipse picking off the Pugner quite nicely.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Got to be careful. Off the Slark picking up, and there we go. And the double kill in conjunction with the Earthshaker knocks down the Echo Slam, and a nice little arrow out the Mirana to finish off the 1 for 3 in trade of the Pugner.
Flares here.
And what we're seeing is the Clockwork not actually TPing up to the top lane to aid, despite having his hook shot available.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Incoming.
So we are going to see just the constant pressure onto these towers from Team Exception. It's really cementing home this early advantage, which ASR are building with the Shadow Blade now pick up on the Slark. Gonna be looking to pick off potentially the Tinker or the Luna. So do we have? Yeah, we've got the BOPs out now on the Tinker, which he should start looking towards trying to get his blink down and really start making his mark on the rest of the map. It's going to start to hinder the farm of this Luna. With all these towers going down and pushing that Helm of the Dominator, instead of getting that earlier BKB, it's really going to be a lot harder for Luna to farm safely. Oh, a nice hook shot from Metallic there, right there. It's straight onto the Visage. However, the Luna being completely zoned out by the Earthshaker alone, and then the Slark following up, and the Pugner ward over the top. The early mechanism now paying dividends there for ASR and really being useful.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We're starting to see a really rapid expansion in the levels from ASR with level 11 Earthshaker. Higher than any of the heroes on Team Exception. Oh, we are seeing the Slark trying to pick up a kill on the Tinker at the bottom lane. A nice little Bishop from the Earthshaker, really playing on point today, this guy is. And is about to pick up his Blink Dagger. And is really going to show just how you slam with that Echo. The Tinker is definitely not amused. And we're going to be seeing a Sanjin Yasha actually out of the Slark, no BKB right at this moment, really trying to just snowball their early lead and just go straight down the barrel into the towers of EX. Oh, nice little. Oh, unfortunate miss there out of the blockwork. Actually moving away from the punker and using the cogs, denying the trap onto Volja.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So there we go. Sanjin Yasha picked up for the Slark. Really going to start cementing his lead now, because hasted movement speed whenever there's division, and then also you've got this Shadow Blade, you've got his ultimate which will also provide him the hasted movement speed. Then you take into effect the maim, the slow from the Sanj, and then the slow for Venom. Really just going to be able to stick to anyone, and there is no chance of any escape. And a Dangan pickup out of the Pugna, looking to be using that to that 50% spell reduction and really abuse the bonus, really 200 damage out of this level 1 Dagon. Oh, and an arrow in the mid. Nice little reaction. And there we go, there's the Dagon put into use, straight into the Crepify, completely destroying that Tinker. And we're going to see the transition into the mid lane, into the bottom lane rather. And here what we're seeing is really the strength of heroes like Slark and the Pugna. Slark extremely strong, just completely just takes out people 1v1, and the Pugna extremely strong at taking down towers, unable really to stop the constant pressure from the Nedlost. And now absolutely trying to max out a Dagon is just going to become absolutely brutal for these players on EX. And we are potentially going to see a engagement onto ASR. Oh, the Slark picking off the Crystal Maiden. All right away at the beginning. Shadow Blade really proving its worth and picking off the Clockwork and the Abaddon in tow. This is going to should transfer into high ground. There is very little that Team Exception can do right now. We've got the Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker. We're getting close up to an Angst. We've got the gem. So the movements and the warding out of Team Exception is just going to become limited to the point of nothing. One thing we do have is the BKB on the Luna, and if it is able to make a big play, if Clockwork can get a really nice hook shot and like lock them all together, maybe if Crystal Maiden's able to get the freezing field over the top, we're really going to be able to like cement like a victory in a fight. So for now, if you just want a 14,000 experience advantage currently for Team ASR, and we're looking at a 15,000 gold advantage. At the moment, there's really very little that Exception can do than just pray to be able to farm it up and delay these pushes with the Tinker March. And there we go, there's going to be a Aegis Immortal for the Slark, sitting on another 2,400 gold, and getting very close to his level 16, and just being able to that 7% 7% of your max health gains per second whenever not seen is really going to start ramping up. And here we go, we've got the level 3 dagger now with a 50% Decrepify. Now we're looking at a 900 damage dagger. Oh, he's also invis, which is going to prove just nightmarish for anyone who just leaves the base for Team Exception. So we've got the Blink Dagger pick up the Tinker, who's going to start trying to just push out these lanes. But as I said before, the problem with the Tinker, yeah, you can delay these lanes being pushed. You can just like push out lanes, but you're stopping all of the farm coming in for your carries. So the Luna's really going to be hard pressed to make any sort of level item progression. Because we're sitting at 600 gold for the Luna right now, and if we're looking at maybe like a Manta style, at the rate that she's able to farm is unsafe to go in the jungle. After every creep wave, she is required to run back into the base. We're looking at another 7 to 10 minutes really to pick up a Manta style without a decent fight. Clockwork really isn't looking too healthy himself either, only having the Robe of the Magi, Magic Stick and Power Treads. Oh, we're going to see Clockwork onto the Pugner. Pugner completely evaporated into the Eclipse. However, the Nether Ward needs to be taken care of. It is really playing havoc for these supports, and the Visage Burst actually helping to take down the Luna, just following it up with a leap out of the Mirana and a lovely little Starstorm there, just going to steal the deal. And you can see the damage that the Nether Ward is doing to the Tinker. Every time he uses his rearm, it's 270 damage every single time. And if you think a Tinker, you generally want to rearm 2 or 3 times when you're trying to defend. Obviously, then you add into the March of the Machines. You've killed yourself before you've even got off your 3rd march.
It's Green Dude's top thing is about to get knocked over.
But the Abaddon now being picked off, and Slark just taking out the Crystal Maiden. At the moment, there's extremely very little that Exception can do than hope for an overextension and a dive out of ASR. We're trying to get the Blade Mail up now for Clockwork, which could prove really useful. However, he just doesn't have the tank ability in these fights. Luna getting that kill onto the Pugner in the previous fight really helping out. Just picking up her Blade of Alacrity into the Earthshaker is really going to help her out and accelerate like her item progression. But we're going to be seeing a Skadi very soon out of the Slark. And we're actually going to see the Slark pick off this Luna, unless we can see a nice miscaught note with a Fisher stunning the Abaddon as well, denying him the extra, like the miscoil as well. And there we go. There's our Decrepify Dragon, and a double kill for the Slark, who will now be picking up his Eye of Skadi. Really. Blimey. The thing is, oh. Yep, I'll be coming straight back in for some reason.
I'll just take over for that little moment. And while we are awaiting
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
We are going to see the Slark pick up that Eye of Skadi that you were talking about. ward plays down by the fucker over here. He will not back. Clockwork just had that damage flying from just that native shot and a beyond This might be the first set of wrecks that fall on the right side.
Dire structures not fortified.
I feel like I'm missing such an important moment in this game. Such an unfortunate disconnect there.
Well,
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
come down. First set of wrecks.
Greenwood's top thing is about to get knocked over.
Slark gets another kill, this time on the Clockwork. Luna gets slowed down. Activate PKB.
My god. That's a twofer.
And here comes Slark trying to kill off Abaddon. Can Abaddon get out? And
My
GG
god.
is
Dire's
called
bottom
by
barracks
Team
is
X.
impossible. My god.
And a
It's
well-deserved
full of-
win
Oh, boost,
for
boost,
the
boost,
Radiant.
boost.
Team ASR.
Victoire!
Ready to win this world.
Vive le Radiant!
Yep, completely agree with you there. The Slark pick really show just why so many teams are banning him out right now. You really can't, it's really difficult to deal with him once he's got a Shadow Blade. He'll just roam, he will just get that 175 damage from the Shadow Blade. Then he will follow it up with a 300 damage pounce, then a 300 damage like just over a short period of time from the Dark Pact. And any supports, and they're not going to survive to that. And he's just extremely strong in any situation. If you put him mid, you've seen him off lane, you see him safe lane, you've seen him as a carry, you've seen him in a tri lane. Extremely versatile hero, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him banned up in the next game. Providing, obviously, I don't crash during the next game.
There we go. So let me just attempt to close down the stream. I'm going